Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode in the second edition of the Self series. I am super excited that we are back to this. It has been a long break, and the Self series is also called the Vulnerability Show, where we bring amazing young individuals to share their stories through pain, mental health issues, through wins, failures, and growth, all that has made them the person that they are currently. So today, for this first episode, we are having the amazing Chukwuemeka Gerald Ibeawuchi. He is a very great guy, the community manager for L Bank. Good to meet you, Gerald.
Good to meet you
Thank
too.
you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
I was panicking when I was reaching out to you. You know that your portfolio has stepped up. It has stepped up there. And when you said you were going to be on it, it was really a privilege. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm excited that I will be learning from your story and your experiences so far. So the series, I'm not just doing it for people, I'm also doing it for myself. So to everyone that is going to honor my invitation to come on this couch, it will not be because I want to just share to the world. It will also be because I want to learn from people's story. I'll give you the floor now to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. My name is Chukwuemeka Gerald Ibeawuchi. I am a young and active citizen, a passionate advocate of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, that's the SDGs. I'm also a blockchain and digital currency growth and marketing expert. And by the grace of God, I'm the Africa Community Manager for L Bank Exchange. I am super excited to be here. When you reached out to me, I know you've been doing this, and I wanted to also share my story to inspire people, tell people where I'm coming from, and also let people know where I'm going to. So I am so glad and happy that you reached out, and
Thank
here we are today.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I know you for the SDGs and a lot of other things you do with respect to community development. But sincerely, when the one for L Bank happened, I was like, "Ooh, like how did this transformation happen?" So like through your journey, like how you became the community manager for L Bank.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. For me, I have always known what I wanted in life. So, and I know that there's a stage for everything, and life is just a process and a journey for us to learn, unlearn, and also get to our goals. Yes, when I left school, I became a very serious advocate of the UN SDGs, that's the Global Goals 2030, and I volunteered for various organizations. One time volunteered for United Nations High Commission for Refugees, at the UNHCR, back then in 2020. And because of all these things, I became a passionate humanitarian. And I discovered something that we in Africa, we do not have, or should I say NGOs or humanitarian organizations in Africa, aside the INGOs, as the international NGOs, we rely heavily on funding abroad, and we
Yeah.
do not have a sustainable model for these organizations to make money for themselves. And we know in the world that money makes the world go round. Money is very important. You can't cause a long-lasting change without
Yeah,
having money.
dependent.
Yeah. So I started looking at emerging technologies of and things I could do for myself to make the amount of money I want and also do good. That was when blockchain technology struck me, because currently we are in the fourth industrial revolution, being powered by artificial intelligence, quantum computing, machine learning, blockchain technology, big data, and the likes. And for all this, blockchain technology caught my attention. I started looking into blockchain in depthly. And in 2020, I volunteered for various organizations, intern for organizations as well, where I was the blockchain intern. I'm teaching people about digital currencies and also the emerging technologies. And from there, I got my first international tech job. And I remember having that conversation with you where I was still working for Pax Food, and I told you this like was this stage I am like was a stage I actually was building then, and I know
Okay.
something bigger is coming.
Coming, yeah.
And I remember having that conversation with
Yes,
you
I was
that,
crying that day. I
yeah,
was exhausted and I was crying. And I was
yeah,
saying, I want to quit. I'm tired. I want to leave.
yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah,
said I should see it as a learning phase because
yeah,
you are also in the process of learning.
yeah.
And that was so beautiful.
Yeah, so yeah, after that, I remember having that conversation, and during that time, I remember I told you it was just a phase, and we will look back and see how much you've done
Mm,
after that time, for you not to quit, for you to still continue. That people are even having it worse, and they are still maintaining that level of commitment. So I knew something bigger was coming, and from there, I moved. I got a should I say, I got a call from L Bank, because I am very huge and very big when it comes to um, like the online world. So I've
mm,
used the online space for my own benefit, especially LinkedIn, and I got that offer from LinkedIn when the CTO of the tech company from Dubai reached out to me to come work for them. And I knew that, okay, my time in Paxu was already coming to an end. I knew when the time is coming to an end. I've prayed about it, and I also know that, okay, I've spent a couple of years here. It's time for me
to
to
move
move
on.
on. And I moved into the company and became a community manager for Nigeria. Then I got promoted to Africa, and since then it has been like a learning process for me. I've grown. I've seen my career grow from this stage I used to be to where I am now. Gone to various countries, all expense paid trip by
Love
my
it.
company, and it has been a very interesting phase for me. And also in doing this, trying to see how I can also show people these opportunities and how they can partake in the emerging technology opportunities in the emerging technologies, and also use it for their own good. So it has been an amazing one for me, and I thank God for that.
Amazing. Like it's so beautiful to see. You know the travel part. I'll come to that. I'm going to you're going to have to tell us because I know that you are very interested in travel,
Yeah,
right? And then it just feels like everything just aligned for
yeah,
you. So the job came and then gave you the opportunity to fly.
yeah,
So it's back to what you were telling me that, process, just staying on it. And I like when you say you want the needed amount of money you need to run projects because
yeah,
you are interested in sustainable development.
yeah,
So starting from park, not park, so Yali,
yeah,
right? So I know that you do a lot. You did a lot with Yali. I don't know if you are still currently with them,
yeah,
but you did a lot with Yali, and then SDG Thursdays, and you were just taking leadership roles. That is not something that comes to people easy.
yeah,
Do you get? And I'm sure that all of those things prepared you for the position you are currently handling at L Bank.
yeah.
What spurred you to become open to taking leadership roles? You mentioned earlier that you have always known, so this would be like a two-way question now. You mentioned that you have always known what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
But I want you to really break it down because for someone like me, I've not always known what I want to do with my life. It has been from a state of terrible oblivion to guessing, maybe I'm interested in this. And it's the situation of a lot of young people in Nigeria. So when they listen to this and they hear your story, at what point did you really know that this is what I want to do?
Okay. So for like I said earlier, have always known what I wanted. So when I left school and during my NYSC time, I had this passion long ago um, to travel around the world. So I grew up with my aunt in a convent. So my aunt is a nun, and she took me to over 26 states in Nigeria, like not passed through,
Nice,
but we actually went to these places, slept
nice.
over for various events. And during those tender age of mine, I became so curious about traveling, and I started looking about places in the world, and I knew that, okay, traveling was also one of the best form of education. And I had a podcast then where I talked about the benefits of traveling and also volunteering, and I was also talking about SDGs and volunteering then. So I joined various organizations like JCI,
Mm,
Yali, SDG
yeah.
Thursdays, And in all these organizations, and also the young, it's an American corner kind of organization where we went to the US Embassy every Wednesdays during my NYC days. And those things bettered everything I have today because I learned a whole lot. I took positions in those organizations, SDG Thursdays, this, and I took positions. And even as a core member, then people were like people, my fellow core member, then were kind of timid to do some things. I was taking up roles voluntarily, and I remember when getting the most I forgot, is it most, it's not most valuable player now. I wanted to say most for SDD Thursday, like the best, I've forgotten the
Yeah,
name
I
of that
saw that
award,
award.
the best male person for the
Yes,
organization
yes.
for
The
that year.
recognition, yeah.
And it was me, even as a core member. And Moyo then told me that, okay, I was apart, I was different from others, and I wanted to learn, I wanted to know more. And these things shaped where I am today. Handling those positions
Position.
gave me like they've made things easy for me now. So right now I know so much, and working for international organizations, there's little or nothing to do because when they bring the tax, I already know what it is. I've already done this thing before somewhere. For example, a few days ago, my manager called me from Dubai and asked me to do something immediately. That same thing she asked me to do, have already done it somewhere before. I just went to my drive, just copied it, just changed the name, finished. I submitted, and they were, wow, wow, wow,
Nice.
this is nice. And this is something I've done before. It's no work for me. But for them,
Yeah.
they will feel that it's big work. But this is
Yes.
because of the fact that I've grown myself. I've done so much in the past. Right now, I'm just sitting down, I'm learning more, trying to do more things for the bigger position again that is to come. So I've always known that there are certain things I need to do, and life is a process for me and a journey, and I need to actually invest my time when it's time to do this. I need to actually do it so well and be the best in it. And because of the fact that I've worked with a whole lot of people, I've gotten things like on just normal level. I've gotten recommendations for jobs, for gigs, for different things because of the fact I've worked with people and they say, ah, if it's Gerald, Gerald will like do it so well.
The
And please go
recommendations
and
from
meet Gerald. I've
people.
seen Gerald do something like that. And recommendation is so
Nice.
powerful. And doing those podcasts, then doing SDG talk, doing my volunteering things then, and now having all these things aligned. I've always wanted to travel the world, and now I'm actually
Nice.
traveling the world courtesy of my organization. So I just believe that when you have a vision, you have something to do. When you work so hard, you pray, you work diligently, the universe just have a way
Nice.
of just connecting everything. You don't know how it's happening, but it's
Yes.
actually happening. It might take time
Hmm.
for you to get to that stage, but it will definitely
Happen.
happen. So for me, I just believe in the power of the universe, and also I have a part to play as a human being to do what is entrusted to me so well. Don't
Hmm.
complain, don't
So well.
grumble. Know when to leave, know when to
Hmm.
enter, know when to start. Know that okay, your time here is done. You need to leave. Know that your time, this stage that you are, you need to put in your all. Even if people are not clapping for you,
At that
don't
time.
just continue.
Hmm.
Just continue. The universe will clap for you, and this is the most
Message.
important thing.
Thank you so much. Were you the head boy of your secondary
Ah,
school?
no, 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 no.
Because
I know the head boy.
Gerald, what were you as a child? Because you feel like, from all you've said, you feel like one of those kids that, from library to mass, back to the library, back to their father's room, back to book. You just feel, did you as a child, were you one of those kids that had to, they had to say, go read your book, or it has always been you, my book, my goals, there are some kids that set setting goals from 5. Some
Yeah.
people that, those nerds, they always read their book, no time for TV. Just take us
Okay.
back a bit from
For me,
childhood.
everything like from family to staying with my aunt, they all contributed to my growth and also my vision. So my dad, while growing up, my dad is like a book person. So he trained us in this way that, okay, for example, he will leave and come back and he expects us to tell him about the news. So we have to just sit down, especially me as the first son, I have to sit down, watch NTA, watch AIT, then watch DBN, then hear the news. And when he comes back, I read it to him word for word, like tell him
Nice.
what happened. He's always having his newspaper around. So with those kind of training, I became so curious about wanting to know more. I remember knowing the names of governors of various states. I remember knowing permanent secretaries of ministries, ministers, because of my father would always ask me, and because of those things, I was always studious. From there, I started living with my aunt. So it was just about like you doing the family so proud, you going to school, becoming so much more. You know that you don't have any reason to fail.
Mm.
They are being okay, they are doing their best to provide everything for you. They are doing their best to giving you everything you want, but you do not have any reason to fail because you know the kind of family you are coming from.
Mm.
You, especially as the first son, you need to do so well so that you live an exemplary life for your siblings to follow and also various other people. So for me, it was those environments led to where I am today, and especially my aunt. I will always thank her as well because she gave me this formation, this Christian or Catholic formation. I lived in the convent, that is like a place where nuns and reverend sisters stayed. So it was an educative setting, education setting where they have a school and everything. So you just have to study, pray, eat, wake up, study, pray, eat, wake up, and all.
Nice.
And because of that, also, I had this passion to become a reverend father. So in my
Ah,
family,
that is how we know that all those pictures, the woman that you want to take to the Dubai.
so,
That's how that one would have ended. Thank
so
the Lord.
no,
Thank you, Lord.
so in my I come from a very strong Catholic family where I have
Mm.
an aunt that's a reverend sister, a brother that is a reverend father in the United States, a big uncle that is also in the formation as well. So because of that, my mother's side and my aunt, I had this passion there too go to the seminary school. And one thing led to another. I didn't later
It is the
enter. Then I
Lord.
moved
It is the Lord.
into the University of Ibadan as well, where I had also this notion of okay, go to school, read your book. Once you graduate, you get a job for you. You have to come out with a very good grade, first class or not, this kind of thing. So those things actually from a tender age to the university days to now, I've always been a very serious person. I remember my neighbor back then in UI, anything she will be like Jumoke, she'll be like, anything you want to know in this life, ask Gerald. Like
I
anything you want
love
to know
it.
in this life, just ask Gerald. Where is this thing in the world? Is just ask Gerald. Gerald will tell you. The capital of this country, Gerald will tell you. So
Mm.
I
Nice.
actually knew something out of everything. I actually like always wanted to know what is happening in the world, the current state of the world, current affairs, things happening around me, so that I will have something to say. And whenever you ask me something, I will not be like, I don't know. But I'll be like, okay, I might not fully know this, but I know
I know
something, something,
some.
something
Mm.
around that. So that was it for me. And that's just it.
Amazing. It's so beautiful to see that. It's so beautiful to see that you know, our experience from childhood can actually really shape us.
Yeah.
I love that you said your auntie took you to 27 or 29 state. That's so beautiful for a young child. It just broadens your mind. It
Yeah.
just makes you really curious to want to know more, reach out for more, and all of that. Um, I'd also like to know if you have experienced challenges. So it feels all rosy. Family has been great, supporting the vision, giving you experiences that are helpful and stuff. So I also like to know if there have like been challenges from before, say with school, was there any time you failed and how you dealt with it? Or with family, with work so far before you got this job, how has the experience been and how were you able to stay on until now? Because I'm sure your perseverance is part of what has brought you here,
Yeah.
even though things might have been, there have been opportunities that were opened onto you
Yeah.
from
So
gender and
failure
ministry.
is just part of life. You just need to fail forward. Whenever you fail, just pick up yourself and go. So for me, it hasn't been an exemption. I've actually felt bad in a whole lot of ways because of how life really did turn then. So I am now in the tech space, doing so much in tech. But yes, I went to a um, a government science secondary school in like my secondary school, Piakasa, and I proceeded to the University of Ibadan, but I didn't study a tech course. So I studied philosophy back then in UI. And people, you remember those days when we get into school, they have the A courses. If you're not in engineering, maybe medicine and surgery and all. And people tend to maybe talk down on people in a certain faculty or reading certain courses. And because of that, you hear maybe people saying different kind of things to you that when you finish, where are you going to work? Where will you work? Where will you do this?
Feel like an outcast.
You're not going to get a job
You're
anyway.
done
So
for.
like getting all those things for 4 years was not really easy, and that was even what made people like us say, okay, we really need to do so much more for ourselves. We really need to be 2 steps ahead of other people to actually like like actually be at that global stage. And because of that, today I am doing so well in the tech space, doing even more than people imagine, and also more than people that actually came from a really in-depth tech background back then in the tertiary institution. And for me, then it was a big challenge, and with me knowing what I wanted, with me believing in God so much, because I actually believe in God so much, and with me being very, very hardworking and also doing what I needed to do, I've actually been here. And even through the course of my professional career, I've not had it all rosy. So there are times where I've been, I've actually,
Stop, stop. It can be like that.
it's not easy. We thank God
Yeah.
for everything. Like I was saying, my professional career, it has been from um one downtime to another. I remember around this time last year, I wasn't having it very easy because I was trying to transition, and it wasn't like the good side. I got lots of things. I got lots of this one problems, threats, this and that, and those are big, big challenges for me. And I will always talk about these stories, and because of those things, I've actually learned about it, know that okay, this shouldn't happen anymore. How should I, or how would I have corrected this? And now I am so better, and I'm like a better, a refined human being, because actually those times I had a fault in all those things, and as well as the whole situation. So I learned that okay, this is what my fault was, and maybe in the future I will know how to do it better and become a better version of myself. And the truth was that around this time last year, I at a certain point I was kind of, I've never been depressed before, but I was kind of not depressed now. Not depressed now, because if you got the things I got, you would have felt the same way I felt. So I felt somehow. I don't want to use the word depressed, but because I don't know what depression is. I've never been into depression, and I don't want to
You
ever
shouldn't.
experience depression. But should I
Yeah.
say maybe I was just down for a couple of times. If I see some messages, my heart will skip. Like with me, Jim, Jim. all these kind of things. But I was able to just navigate my way through that phase, and I have learned my mistakes. I have also learned how to do things better, and I am here doing so much for myself.
Amazing. So I see that you are very, very vocal on the online space.
Yeah.
Not something that comes to people easy. You are not, I cannot even classify you anywhere near shy. How did that come to be? Was it something you intentionally developed, or confidence has just been something that is natural with you?
Okay, so for me, I always believe that people should build in public. No, so now when I say building, it's not maybe telling people about your family problems, your
Mm,
family story and all, but telling people about who you are,
mm,
what you do, your passion and all. Because the next person might actually have the key or know someone who got the key to what you want.
mm,
So, except maybe you are from a very wealthy family, you are related to the president, or you have all these cabals that you are related to. Yes, you can actually build in private. So for me, since 2021, 2020 to 2021, I've actually seen people testify about the benefits and opportunities online. So with that, I started with Facebook and started talking about the things I do on Facebook, and I've actually gotten. I met lots of friends back then during my NYSC days where I was doing my podcast. I interviewed lots of people that I've not seen before, international people, and I got their contacts from Facebook. I joined the World Literacy Foundation. I'm still an ambassador till now, where we fundraise and also raise funds and also help people eradicate poverty through the power of literacy. And all these opportunities I got from Facebook. And when, for example, LinkedIn came, I said, not LinkedIn, when I knew about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has been there,
mm.
I moved from Facebook to LinkedIn, and I started putting up all the events I've done, like maybe events I did in 2020, volunteering for maybe Brain and Spine Foundation. I just carried all those in, but put a nice write up there, and I paste on LinkedIn. People put in their own contributions, their questions, their contributions, and all. And my mission was to tell people what I'm doing, to get people's insights on what I've done, and also talk about my own like what I feel about what I did. So the breakthrough for me came, not a breakthrough, but it was a big shock for me on LinkedIn back in 2022, early 2022, where someone from Belgium reached out to me because of an SDG event I did a long time ago that he saw, and he asked me how that event was. So we had a, let's say, 25 minutes call on Google Meet. And this guy, after the call, this guy actually told me that it was a paid consultation call and they need to pay me and I should give them my PayPal account, or I told him then that I don't have. Say, do you have a domiciliary account? I said, no, I do not have a domiciliary account. Do you have maybe which other? He mentioned three things. I told him
You
I
don't
don't
have
have.
any.
And so sometimes opportunities will
Will
come, but we are
come
not
and you're not
ready. I
ready.
wasn't ready then,
Yeah.
and I gave him the option of using digital assets to send the money for me. So after few hours, he said, okay. So I pasted the wallet and he sent me 150 US dollars, and I was not expecting anything. So after that day, I made sure I opened a domicile Zenith Bank DOM account. I
Nice.
had a PayPal account. I had
Nice.
a is it a Pioneer account or something? I had all those
Never to
international
recover
payments
the bread.
method, and I was wowed because this is just a 25 minutes call, and I was just doing it as a normal thing, and I was
So
paid. So
much.
from that day, I became so serious
Mm.
about telling people what I do, putting my events there for people to criticize, for people to put in their own insights, and I started telling people about LinkedIn, doing LinkedIn classes for people, free classes, doing LinkedIn free classes and all for people. And today I've been able to train people on LinkedIn, countless people. Even the book I wrote, I had a section for how tech professionals can use LinkedIn for their own opportunity and also the online space, because there are lots of opportunities there. So I
Yeah.
saw the power of the social media space, and I harnessed it and took it to my own advantage. So that's how all this happened.
Amazing. So I can see where the drive is coming from. 20 minutes call, 150. You would definitely become serious with whatever brought that kind of, you know. Thank you so much, Gerald. It has been so amazing having you here today.
Thank you.
Lastly, I just want to ask, you know, all those Dubai and this thing that you say you want to take one lady, what's the criteria? He said when, you know, Gerald likes to travel, Abi. Gerald now said when he wants to, you know, he's looking for a certain amount of money. I don't know because it's mighty money. He wants to take when he gets married, how he'll be traveling. He used to post those pictures. So now I am helping you guys, ladies in the building. He will tell us the criteria so that in case you match it, you can, you know, shoot your shot in the comments.
No, 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 wahala.
So Gerald, what is the criteria? Or let us know the criteria so that you know we can make adequate plans.
For me, I believe so much in what God can do, and like I said, I want to travel the world
Yeah.
someday. And currently, I'm doing a series on LinkedIn where I talk about African, like different countries in Africa and their own tourism opportunities and all. So I am going to travel the world with myself, my family,
It should
and when the
be.
time comes.
It
So I
should
just
be.
believe God
We bring the
will
time.
will
When the
bring
time
the time.
comes,
Yeah.
you will know. When,
God will
when
bring
she
the
shall
time.
appear, you shall know.
God will
That's so
God will
be.
do it.
He will do it in the, at
God
his
will do it.
appointed time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Gerald.
So thank you so much for listening. And I want to say this to someone listening out there. You might have that thing that is burning inside of you. Maybe you've had this passion from a long time ago. You can actually build on this. You can actually find your path, create a very unique niche for yourself, run with it, identify people that are doing what you want to do, get a mentor. Because for me, mentorship was very instrumental to my growth. And I believe that mentorship is like the shortest cut to success. So find a mentor doing the same thing you are doing, belong to organizations, settings, communities that do what you are doing, and start taking part, start being involved in this thing. And with this, with God, with you doing so much for yourself, you can achieve that dream. I was just few years ago, I knew what I wanted, but it wasn't there. Today I am on that path to getting what I actually want. I've not gotten it yet. I'm still in that journey, and yes, it might take time. Do not have this get rich quick scheme mentality. Have this mentality to build. Have this mentality that okay, everything is like a process, and you can actually do so much more for yourself if you believe, have determination, and also put God in your whole plan. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share this video to your friends and family so they can learn and understand what we've said today. So thank you so much. Keep doing what you are doing best. Keep learning, keep on learning, keep relearning, because actually the money, the opportunities, everything we want in life is in the knowledge that we do not have. So please seek knowledge today. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
See ya.